Once called Heritar by the Quarians, this space station was stripped of its useful technology by the fleeing migrant fleet when they left the Perseus Vale 300 years ago. Little more than a cold metal superstructure floating in the void, the station was removed from star charts by 2050 CE. Scans indicate the station was reconstructed and upgraded in a massive effort that must have taken at least 10 years. Implying that there may have been some Geth outside the Veil before their infamous attack on Eden Prime. Needing little but a fuel source, it could have been hidden here for much longer without attracting attention from the barren worlds around Tasra or the clueless Elcor in the Salahil system. Heretic Station, as Legion refers to it, is home to a Geth data core capable of broadcasting vast distances through tight beam projection. Approximately 6.6 million copies of Geth software are stored in the station, the majority of which are kept bodiless in servers and downloaded to legged platforms when needed. The station's population of legged platforms is approximately 2.4 million. Okay, he's got his anti-material rifle. I always find it amusing that Tally can carry a Geth shotgun. I just find that very amusing. We obviously know we're facing a lot of Geth on this mission here. The assault rifle thing doesn't necessarily matter that much. At least I don't think so. I find myself kind of torn between the Avenger and the Collector. I'm gonna go back to the Avenger. Stick with these. And since we are going to be facing Geth, let's go back to the arc projector. There we go. Alright, we're good.
You know it's just our heat emissions that are hidden, right? They could look out a window and see us coming.
Windows are structural weaknesses. Geth, do not use them. Approach the hull at these coordinates. Access achieved. We may proceed.
Oh, Joker.
Alert. This facility has little air or gravity. Geth require neither.
Won't we be detected? Don't they have intrusion alarms?
Sensors have been reduced. We have infiltrated their wireless network and filled the data storage with random bits.
And that helps us how?
The heretics must scrub this junk data. They have partitioned themselves into local networks, working in parallel. Any alarm we trigger will not go beyond the room we are in. Only accessing the main core will trigger a station-wide alert.
We've got a job to do. Let's get to it.
Shepard Commander, we concluded that destruction of this station was the only resolution to the heretic question. There is now a second option. Their virus can be repurposed. If released into the station's network, the heretics will be rewritten to accept our truth.
Either way, these Geth won't be a problem anymore. But Shepard, think about this. If you rewrite these Geth, they'll join the others. Legion's Geth will be stronger. Can we trust them not to attack us in the future?
Why didn't you mention this before we came aboard?
We did not know the virus was complete. It is. It can be used against the true Geth at any time. Our arrival was timely.
They're your people, Legion. You must have an opinion.
This is new data. We have not yet reached consensus. We will process as the mission proceeds.
So, this mission seems to have the choices in regards to what's considered Paragon and Renegade kind of backwards at times. Because it seems like it doesn't really know what to consider Paragon or Renegade, or good or bad, because, well, let's just say I've heard people debate this choice for a long time, and to this day, people consider the main choice of this mission to be backwards. Because you'll even see here, it's listed that the Paragon option is considering that rewriting them would be unethical, because, as Shepard says,
I wouldn't brainwash an organic race. I can't see treating the Geth differently.
The question is irrelevant. If we do not rewrite them, we destroy them. That is why we are here. Do not hesitate now. They will exterminate your species because their gods tell them to. You cannot negotiate with them. They do not share your pity, remorse, or fear.
Now, as the mission progresses, we will actually have it start to portray the rewriting thing as more Paragon. That's actually not as bad and actually a little better to do compared to, say, destroying them. Because it starts off like, rewriting is horrible and terrible. And then by the end of it, it considers rewriting them the Paragon choice and destroying them the Renegade choice. And yet I've heard people debate for years that rewriting is a worse option because you're basically brainwashing them. And they consider just killing these heretics a good thing, a mercy, and a more ethical and moral thing to do instead of brainwashing them and rewriting them to join the regular Geth. People have debated this for years, I'm telling you guys. They still debate to this day and say that the choices should be backwards, you know? It's just a very interesting thing that this mission almost sometimes seems to go out of its way to try to, help make the rewriting thing more Paragon and the killing them more Renegade. And it just gets very confusing at times because sometimes it's like, okay, is the game saying that killing just in general is Renegade and not killing them, even if you're brainwashing them or such, in this case, rewriting them, the more good choice, the more Paragon choice? It gets very confusing.
The Geth are inactive. Maybe we can sneak past them.
Interrupting data streams will alert local network. We recommend preemptive strikes against hard-link routers.
Weapons ready.
Automated flight weapon ready.
Shepard, I'm picking up useful resources in the Geth hubs. We could salvage them for supplies.
Why are all the heretics attached to these hubs?
These are mobile platforms, hardware. The crew is software. They are communing through the station's central computer.
I'm not sure I follow.
The heretics connect to the main computer to exchange data memories and program updates. We gain complexity by linking together. To be isolated within a single platform is to be reduced. We see less, comprehend less. It is quieter.
If you exchange data, memories, how do you keep track of which ones are yours? How do you stay you?
There is only we. We were created to share data among ourselves. The difference between Geth is perspective. We are many eyes looking at the same things. One platform will see things another does not, and will make different judgments.
I've made the comparison in the past to the Geth and the Borg, but mainly in terms of a certain type of hive mind. The thing is, though, it's not entirely accurate. There's a few different ways that I've seen hive minds kind of utilized in fiction. There's the Borg, which is many minds in, like, one body. No, I'm saying that wrong. One mind across multiple bodies. And ignore the thing about the Queens. For those of you who are into Star Trek and know about the Queens, just ignore that. That was corporate meddling. Because remember, in the early episodes, there was no such thing as a queen because there didn't need to be a queen. Ignore that. Then there's the hive mind of the Zerg, or the Swarm, from StarCraft, which is multiple minds and one very strong, dominant mind controlling them across multiple bodies. Then you've got the Geth, and also the Purifiers from StarCraft, which is multiple minds in one body. Like how Legion said, there is over 1,000 programs active within his platform, and they also have this proximity thing where if they are all closer together, they're able to be smarter and respond faster and be stronger and such. It's a very interesting concept in regards to the hive mind and how they work, and how he says that perspective is something that is a factor in how their hive mind functions.
I can see why you'd be conflicted about the heretics. In a way, whatever you do to them, you're doing to yourself.
Yes. Once they return to us and upload their memories, we will share their experience of being altered.
Every other species I know of might be psychologically scarred by a traumatic experience like that.
It is not clear if Geth can be traumatized. We do not feel pain as you do. We cannot predict what the effects will be.
Let's keep moving.
Yes. We can assume control of any defensive turret. They will assist us. Acknowledged. Executing pseudo command. Targeting order process. Targeting or distance shot effective.
Can't reach the target. Can't get a lock.
I actually didn't see him there.
Automated flight weaponry.
Go get them, Tita.
Assuming control. Executing pseudo command. Up on instant man. Target contact.
Go for the optics, Tati. Go for the optics.
Targeting order process.
They've seen us.
Assuming control. Automated flight weapon ring.
I had no idea Geth built stations this large.
The station is over 15 kilometers long. That room may run the length of it.
I'll take it.
Spotted. Detected. Long-range target neutralized, Arrow.
Nice. Deploying combat drone.
Fire it. Long-range kill.
Are these databases?
Processors. Each contains thousands of Geth.
Can't they see us walking by?
They are no more aware of us than you are of cells in your bloodstream.
This isn't like the other hubs we've seen here.
This is a database. It contains a portion of the heretics' accumulated memories. Wait. We discovered copies of our current patrol routes in this database. This suggests the heretics have runtimes within our networks.
We wouldn't be here if the heretics wanted to be friends with the Geth. Why wouldn't they spy on you?
You do not understand. Organics do not know each other's minds. Geth do. We are not suspicious. We accept each other. The heretics desired to leave. We understood their reasons. We allowed it. There was peace between us.
That's another thing I find very interesting about the Geth, is that they're entirely honest with each other because they're able to, it's another similar thing to, I mentioned the different kinds of hive minds. There's actually another different type I forgot, and that's the way the Protoss actually functioned under the Kala. Remember, one of the things that was emphasized in Legacy of the Void was that once the Kala was corrupted by Amon, and they severed their link to it, they could no longer be able to share each other's minds and be able to kind of rely on others' minds to be able to accomplish other tasks. This is something that, the engineer we meet, Karax talks about how he can't be able to reach out through the Kala to other engineers in his cast to be able to get a reliable answer and such when it comes to certain tasks he needs to accomplish, because he could always just be able to reach out to them in the Kala and be able to tap into their knowledge as other engineers to be able to make sure that he was getting a task done correctly and such. It's a very interesting way. It's kind of similar to how the Geth could be able to get in touch with other Geth minds to be able to figure out other stuff. It would be like me having to figure out some kind of task, and I could just reach out to somebody's mind and be able to kind of tap into their knowledge because they are more experts in that regard, whereas I am not. And then I'm able to tap into their knowledge because we're sharing minds with each other, and therefore I then get the knowledge to actually accomplish that task. It's a very interesting idea and concept.
It couldn't have lasted forever. You disagreed about what path your race should take.
Human history is a litany of blood shed over differing ideals of rulership and afterlife. Geth have no such history. We shared consensus on such things. How could we have become so different? Why can we no longer understand each other? What did we do wrong?
When individuals are separated, they develop in different ways. When they get back together, they don't always get along.
If this is the individuality you value, we question your judgment. This topic is irrelevant. We must return to the mission.
Have you reached a decision about whether to rewrite the heretics or not?
We are still trying to build consensus. Some processes judge destruction preferable, others rewrite.
Let's keep moving.
Yes.
This is it?
Yes, we will upload a copy of our runtime into the core. It will delete all copies of the virus. When complete, it will notify us. The indexing operation will take time. The heretics will respond with force to our upload. We must hold this room. We can override some of the station's internal systems to defend us. Are you ready to begin?
You can override these like you did the earlier turrets. They can help defend our position.
Correct. In addition to the turrets around us, there are others on the mainframes below. Indicate which you want activated, and we will program them. This will only last a few seconds.
Wait. I want to scout the area first.
Ready.
Quick save.
Begin the upload now.
Start your upload, Legion. We'll defend this position.
File transfer begun. Shepard Commander, where would you like us to activate defenses? Alert. Heretic runtimes downloading to mobile platforms. Alert. Heretic runtimes downloading to mobile platforms. Hacking your target. Executing pseudo command.
Shields down.
Targeting order process. Malfunction and long range kill. Overriding your target. Fire. Alert. Heretic runtimes downloading to mobile platforms. Hacking your target. Target contact. Taking hits. Up on symptom balance. Alert. Heretic runtimes downloading to mobile platforms. Overriding your target. Targeting order process. Taking hits. Target contact. Target eliminated.
Not in range for that one.
Automated flight. Up and Launching its light weaponry. Data mine and analysis complete. Shepard Commander, it is time to choose. Do we rewrite the heretics or delete them?
You don't have any trouble wiping out your own people.
Every sapient has the right to make their own decisions. The heretics chose a path that prohibits coexistence.
That doesn't make sense. If they have the right to make their own decisions, how can you suggest brainwashing them to accept your way?
We stated the option exists. We did not endorse it. It is Shepard Commander's decision.
I do find it interesting he doesn't really give an answer to that. He doesn't really answer. He's just like, no, I just said the option's there, that's all.
What's to stop them from using the virus later to change themselves back?
We will delete the virus after using it. We judge it too dangerous to allow its existence.
Why are you letting me make this decision? They're your people.
We are conflicted. There is no consensus among our higher order runtimes. 573 favor rewrite, and 571 favor destruction. Shepard Commander, you have fought the heretics. You have perspective we lack. The Geth grant their fate to you.
So, like I said, this is the big choice here, and people, as I said, this is the choice people have debated for years and have said that the choice that they believe the choices are backwards. People to this day believe that the Paragon choice should be killing them, and the rewriting choice should be the Renegade option, because many people have the perspective that killing them here is the right thing to do, and brainwashing them or rewriting them is the more horrible, evil choice. It's just very interesting how this is one of those choices where the game is saying it's this way, and a lot of the players are saying, no, it should be this way. It's just something I find very interesting, and I can't recall that many more choices in these games that have this kind of a polarizing reaction in terms of people insisting on certain choices should be certain things. You know what I mean? It's just rather interesting. So, I'm going to be picking the rewrite option for a couple of main reasons. One, Paragon points. You know, if there's one thing I've learned in these games, that it discourages you from staying neutral, and it wants you to pick a side and then commit to it. So, okay, sure. This is a Paragon run, so we're doing it for Paragon points, and sometimes that's just kind of how I've done other runs in other games that have these kinds of choices here. You know, the other thing is looking forward to the results of this. As will be pointed out when we get to this particular portion of Mass Effect 3, the rewritten ones end up, of course, rejoining the Reapers and such, which adds to the overall Geth force that we are dealing with. But, in the end, more of them are there, and more of them will be able to be a part of their people and community by the end of the entire conflict that we help resolve by the end of it. So, yeah, that's kind of, you know, it's not really the kind of choice that I would say is like a definitive, like, you know, way to justify it or feel good about it. It's just kind of like, oh, you know, it is what it is, you know? So, yeah.
If they're rewritten, your people will accept them back? Will they even want to go back?
They will agree with our judgments in return. We will integrate their experiences. All will be stronger.
Take them then. When we get control of the core, release the virus.
Acknowledged. Releasing virus. Note, remote access via high-gain transmission required.
What does that mean?
The virus will be sent to heretics in nearby star systems. This station will broadcast a powerful electromagnetic pulse through FTL channels.
How powerful?
Yield in excess of 1.21 petawatts. Alert. EM flux will be hazardous to unshielded organic forms. Addendum. The interior of this station is not shielded.
I really wish you'd said that before. Back to the ship. Double time, people.
I love the way FemShep says that. I really wish you had said that before.
Targeting order processed.
Alright, time to pull out the arc projector.
Enemy hit.
And that's why. Geth Prime right in our way.
Light weapon ring.
Got it.
Attacking requested target.
Let's go, people. We have an EMP to outrun. Rewriting of Geth heretics will make main Geth faction significantly more powerful, given perception of Reapers they may be possible allies, though long-term cooperation remains unlikely. Regardless, data recovered from Geth Station offered valuable insight into AI's social and technological processes. Legion should be committed to the mission after Shepard's help with the Geth heretics.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
In a moment, Kelly.
How may I help you, Commander?
Is there anything I should know?
You have unread messages at your private terminal. Anything else, Commander?
That'll be all.
Take care.
I'm seriously gonna have to look up how to get her to offer feeding my fish. Now I'm getting spam mail. Chorbin. I hope this address still works. I promised to send you intel on the Keepers if I found anything, and this is important. You see, those scans you took, it turns out the Keepers are bioengineered, and based on my comparisons to some of the material from Saren's flagship Sovereign, they were engineered millions of years ago by the same people who made Sovereign. You may not understand how important this is, but it suggests that the Citadel was not really made by the Protheans, dude. You are so behind. It may have been made by something far older, with the Keepers as organic guardians. And what's more, based on my genetic readings, they're supposed to react to something. Some signal or something, about every 50,000 years. You can measure genetic variances. It's a bit like comparing rings on a tree to see the drought years. Whoever did this, well, around the last time the signal went off will be around the time the Protheans disappeared. And it's scheduled to go off sometime around now. If any of the old tech still works, they could have some nasty surprises waiting for us. Just thought you'd want to know. Nobody here on the Citadel will listen to me. Chorbin. Yeah. Okay. So now, we have a couple people we can go talk to. Let's first talk to Legion, and then we'll talk to Garrus.
Shepard,
What happens to the heretics now?
they will isolate themselves and reconsider their past judgments.
How long will that take?
We think at the speed of light. In the time it takes you to voice a question, I can review all my time aboard Normandy. When they have reached new judgments, they will leave their hiding places and return to us.
You caught that, right? He says, in the time that you asked me a question, I can review all the time I've spent on Normandy. It's something that I've found fascinating about how fast they process things. It's something that was on display in StarCraft 2 when the Purifiers came on, where they were like, we will deliberate on this. And it took a matter of just a few seconds, and then they were like, all right, we've come to a decision. And it was just like, whoa. And keep in mind, that was probably millions of Purifiers on that gigantic ship in Legacy of the Void when they did that. And it was just like, holy crap, that's scary that they did that fast. You know?
I'd like to find out more about you.
We are building a consensus. Please try again later.
I have to get back to work.
Acknowledged.
Garrus.
Weren't you originally stationed on Horizon?
Yes. If I hadn't joined Cerberus, I'd be abducted by the Collectors right now.
Wow. Really dodged a bullet.
Yeah, I couldn't take that. They creeped the hell out of me.
You're not the only one.
Shepard, need me for something?
Have you got a minute?
Yeah. I've been thinking about what we talked about. Blowing off steam, easing tension. I've never considered cross-species intercourse. And damn, saying it that way doesn't help. Now I feel dirty and clinical. Are we crazy to even be thinking about this? I'm not... Look, Shepard, I know you can find something a little closer to home.
So, I pointed this out when we were going through Mass Effect 1. I didn't like that there didn't seem to be any kind of option to get out of a possible romance with Kaidan. It was just kind of like I inadvertently fell into it, and then there was no way out of it other than get him killed on Vermeer. What I like about this game is that it actually gives you moments where you can actually choose to back out of a romance if you've made a choice that you didn't mean to, and then you change your mind. I appreciate that it actually gives you those choices. So, and of course, this makes sense. Of course, Garrus would be incredibly hesitant about this whole thing, not really sure how to go about this, how this would work, and thinking... It's like, look, Shepard, I mean, I'm flattered, but I'm sure you could find a nice human who you could be with, you know. But then that's when Shepard can then say in response,
I don't want something closer to home. I want you. I want someone I can trust.
I can do that. I'll find some music and do some research to figure out how this thing should work. It'll either be a night to treasure or a horrible interspecies awkwardness thing. In which case, fighting the Collectors will be a welcome distraction, so, you know, a win either way.
You know, Garrus, if you're not comfortable with this, it's okay. I'm not trying to pressure you.
Shepard, you're about the only friend I've got left in this screwed-up galaxy. I'm not gonna pretend I've got a fetish for humans. But this isn't about that. This is about us. You don't ever have to worry about making me uncomfortable. Nervous, yes, but never uncomfortable.
aww. Think about how sweet that is to tell somebody that there's no way you could ever make me uncomfortable. I mean, it's something that I'm sure a lot of you can understand. You get concerned about if you actually say or do something that causes somebody to feel uncomfortable around you. That's not a good feeling. So for him to say that, that's really sweet. Now this next bit, oh, this is funny. This is funny.
So when should I book the room?
I'd wait if you're okay with it. Disrupt the crew as little as possible and take that last chance to find some calm just before the storm. You know me, I always like to savor the last shot before popping the heatsink. Wait. That metaphor just went somewhere horrible.
Did you see the look on Shepard's face when he said that? I just love that he then caught onto that and went, wait a minute.
I'll let you get back to work.
Right. Because I'm in a great place to optimize firing algorithms right now.
Little too horny to think, Garrus? Oh, man. Like I said, I find the hilarious, awkward dialogue between them very adorable. And it's just Brandon Keener's voice acting that just sells it. Oh, by the way, I mentioned how when I was looking at the armor for Samara in terms of the details and what was available, I noticed a white one, and I thought that was like an option. What I didn't realize is that it was saying that instead of the black alternate armor that you would normally get from Samara for doing her loyalty mission, you instead get that armor, but white, which I really, really like, and I can't wait to unlock that, because I looked at that and I went, oh, that looks so cool. I actually like it better white than black, but anyways. So let's go to my cabin. I gotta make sure I feed the fish. I did pay a visit to Omega and Ilium just to double check on any extra things I could get, items, fish, and armor pieces, which I did find, honestly. It seems like it was just like, oh, okay, more pieces are getting added here, so... Melee damage by 25%. What's funny is I hardly ever actually melee in this. That'll change in 3. In 3, the melee actually feels awesome. But in this one, it's just kind of a bam, 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 you know? Ah, there's the... So I can either have more shields and heavy weapon ammo, or I could have regular ammo. Or no. Spare heavy weapon ammo. Wait. Oh. I see. Okay. There we go. More heavy weapon ammo. I'll take a little dip in shield strength in order to get some extra ammo capacity. It's interesting when you look at the appearances here, it's like, okay, you've got this little bit here for the ammo carry-on. Now you look at this, and it's just kind of like, oh, what, do I have it, like, strapped here on my leg like I do on the arm right there? Because that's what these are. Anyways. Alright, so... Oh, by the way, when I went to Omega to check the shops... Edie said she couldn't find anything. She recommended I go talk to Arya about any leads on Morinth, because of course she's sorry, so she should know anything about what a possible Ardat Yakshi on Omega, because of course Arya would know. But it's time, guys. I've been building to this. I've been really building up to this. This next mission is not only one of my favorites, but oh my gosh, bringing Legion has such a noticeable effect and adds quite a bit more compared to bringing anybody else. Like, bringing anyone else, it's basically the same thing. Bringing Legion to the migrant fleet is incredible. Like, seriously. It's one of those things where I didn't know you could until I realized there is a way. Now, normally in a Renegade run, you would have to basically sacrifice people on the crew to die in order to be able to pull this off. But thanks to these mods, I'm going to be able to show you in a Paragon run what happens when you bring Legion with you to Tali's trial in the Migrant Fleet. So be sure to stay tuned if you've never seen this before. Be sure to tune in for that next time. Stay tuned.